Have you ever wondered how fear is influencing your choices? It may be hiding in the small decisions you avoid making, in dreams that seem increasingly out of reach, or even in opportunities you pass up out of sheer apprehension. But what if I told you that fear isn't the problem? That it's just a story you've been telling yourself? What if all you need is to rewrite that narrative? The timeless wisdom of Buddhism reveals that fear isn't as solid as it seems. What no one tells you, but which makes all the difference, is that there are simple practices, almost like secrets, that can completely transform the way you face life's challenges. And the best part? They don't require drastic changes or sophisticated tools. It's all about starting with small adjustments in how you see the world and yourself. In this video, you'll discover 6 practical lessons that go beyond theory. They can help you overcome fear and access a state of confidence and clarity you may not have realized was within you. Are you ready to break the cycle and transform your life? Stay with me, because what's coming next might be the awakening you've been waiting for. Embrace impermanence. Impermanence is a fundamental truth of life, but let's face it, it's not easy to accept that everything changes. Is it? Often. Fear arises from the desire for things to stay stable, as if security lies in permanence. But think about it. Everything alive is in constant transformation. That flower blooming today will wither tomorrow, but that doesn't make its beauty any less meaningful. The same applies to our experiences. Even the fears that feel overwhelming now have an expiration date. What's the secret to embracing this idea? Mindful practice. Take a moment to observe your breath. Inhale deeply, feeling the air fill your lungs, and exhale slowly, letting it go. This simple act symbolizes how life works a constant cycle of renewal. You can do this anywhere, whether before an important meeting or while waiting in line at the grocery store. Embracing impermanence is liberating because it teaches us to flow with changes instead of resisting them. Imagine how much energy you'd save if you stopped clinging to things that no longer serve you. Each passing moment is a new opportunity, but what follows this acceptance can be even more transformative. Live in the now, life happens in the present, yet our minds are often everywhere except here. We're so consumed by the what-ifs of the future or the if-onlys of the past that we forget to enjoy the only moment that truly matters, the now. Have you noticed how fear is usually tied to what hasn't even happened yet? It's like watching a horror movie your mind created. So, how can you bring your focus back to the present? Try something simple, like holding an object nearby a pen, for instance. Observe every detail. Its color, texture, weight. It may seem trivial, but it's incredibly effective. This practice anchors you in the present moment, pushing away anxious thoughts that insist on invading your mind. Living in the now isn't just a practice. It's a philosophy that changes everything. After all, the past is gone, and the future hasn't arrived yet. Ask yourself, am I worried about something happening now or something that exists only in my imagination? This reflection can be the starting point for a deeper connection to the present. But there's still more to learn about handling the fears that keep us from this balanced state. Let go of attachment. Attachment is like an anchor keeping you stuck in shallow waters. The more you cling to something, whether it's an idea, a person, or an object, the more fear you feel about losing it. It's like trying to hold sand in your hands. The tighter your grip, the more it slips away. Buddhism teaches that letting go of attachment doesn't mean giving up everything. It means releasing the control these things have over your emotions. Here's a practical example. Think of something you deeply value, like your phone or a cherished keepsake. Imagine for a moment that you've lost it. Scary, isn't it? Now reflect. Is the value of this object in its essence or in the story you've attached to it? This exercise is a powerful way to start loosening emotional ties. When you learn to let go of attachment, you discover a freedom you never thought possible. It's not about living without, but living lightly. Life becomes more fluid when you're not carrying unnecessary emotional weight. And here's the most fascinating part. By letting go of attachment, you make space for something even more valuable. But this requires seeing fear in a completely new way. Seeing fear as an illusion. Fear, most of the time, is a trick our mind plays on us. It feeds on what if thoughts, creating scenarios that rarely become reality. It's like that noise in the dark that seems like a monster, but when you turn on the light, you realize it's just a chair out of place. Buddhism teaches us that fear isn't reality. It's merely a mental projection, a story we tell ourselves. Here's a simple exercise to unmask fear. When it arises, ask yourself, is this truth or just perception? For instance, if you fear failing a presentation, ask, am I truly incapable? Or am I imagining a rejection scenario that hasn't even happened? This practice of questioning helps bring fear into the light of reason, dissolving much of its power. Seeing fear as an illusion is a skill that develops over time, but it's worth every effort. When you start to see what lies behind it, you realize that fear is just a visitor. You don't have to invite it to stay. But to truly face it, it's essential to trust in something greater than your insecurities. Trust the process. Trusting the process is like walking an unfamiliar trail, confident that each step will lead you to the right destination. It sounds simple, but in a world where control seems to be the key to everything, letting go is a real challenge. Buddhism reminds us that life has its own flow, and when we try to force or rush things, we only create more tension and fear. If you're facing a tough decision, try meditating on it. Sit in a quiet place, breathe deeply, and observe what arises in your mind without judgment. Often, the answers we seek are within us, but the noise of our worries prevents us from hearing them. Trust the subtle signals of your body, and the sensations that guide you. Your intuition is a powerful tool. When you learn to trust the process, you discover that life has a way of putting everything in the right place at the right time. It's not about giving up, but about accepting that not everything is under your control. And when you embrace this idea, you start to see the beauty in life's small miracles. But there's something even deeper that can help us deal with fear. Compassion. Practice compassion. Compassion is a powerful antidote to fear. When we're afraid, we tend to close ourselves off, creating emotional barriers that isolate us from others and even from ourselves. Compassion, on the other hand, dissolves these barriers and reconnects us with the world around us. By offering kindness not only to others but also to yourself, you create a space where fear has no home. Want to start now? Perform an altruistic act, no matter how small. It can be something simple, like sending an encouraging message to someone or offering help to someone in need. Notice how this transforms your energy and brings a sense of security. This practice not only benefits the receiver, but also strengthens your own emotional resilience. When you choose compassion, you discover it has the power to transform any situation. It doesn't eliminate fear, but puts it into perspective, showing that it is small compared to the strength found in genuine connection. By cultivating this state, you become stronger, more confident, and better prepared for any challenge life presents. But what to do with all this learning? Now it's time to turn it into action. And now, the next step is yours. After so much reflection and practice, the question remains, what will you do with all this? Knowing that fear doesn't define you is a big step, but applying these lessons is what can truly transform your life. Why not start today? Try one of these practices, whether it's observing impermanence, living in the now, or practicing compassion. After all, what do you have to lose? Think about how your life would be without the blocks fear creates. Would you be more confident? Freer? Imagine how many opportunities have gone unnoticed because fear took the lead. The choice to change is in your hands now. What will your first step be? Write in the comments and share how you plan to put these lessons into practice. If this content inspired you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue exploring these powerful teachings. Let's walk this journey of self-discovery and courage together. Click the bell, and I'll see you in the next video.